Hello, this is Yedda Wang, Asia editor at TMT Finance. Today with me is Gayan Koralage, Director of Group Strategy and Director of Malaysia Business at EDOTCO Group. Hi,
Hello,
Gayan.
Yedda. Hi.
Hi. Thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me here.
First of all, would you please share with our audience EDOTCO's key achievements in the last 12 months, and where are you heading in the next 12 months?
Before that, Yedda, I think we need to highlight the fact that we are the biggest tower company, a multi-country tower company in Asia. We own and manage close to 70,000 telecom structures, 35,000 we own, 1.67 colo ratio. We connect about 200 million population in 8 Asian markets. The last 12 months has been a significant year for us. Both revenue growth, EBITDA growth, colo ratio growth, EBITDA margin growth. We benchmark ourselves with the 20 other tower companies in the world. We are in the top 3 of almost all the ratios. Significantly, we achieved 35,000 telecom structure in December 2023. The significant milestone of that is we achieved that last 10,000 over 2-year period. And the previous 10,000 we achieved over a 6-year period. So considering that the pace in which we have done, we are a significant beneficiary of the post-COVID growth in the Asian market. And we are seeing the data growth by 20% every year. That's big. Secondly, we have shifted our portfolio from South Asia to Southeast Asia. ASEAN, which is Indonesia, Philippines, Cambodia, Malaysia, plus Bangladesh. These are the 5 core markets. So these are the low cost of capital, high growth, investment grade destination. Also, we have significantly positioned ourselves in the market as a customer-centric tower company, which means that we want to look at operator pain points, whether there's a coverage gap, capacity gaps, underconnected, unconnected, cost issues and so forth, and solve these major issues and get the benefit out of it. That has been the major change for the last 12 months. Next 12 months, we would like to create our shareholder values. There are capital contributors for us. We have put ourselves into the value creation cadence, VCC we call it, internally framework. Every single dollar we invest in our market need to create proportionate return to our shareholders. So we continue to do so through the portfolio optimization.
That's great to know. And following the announcement of selling the Myanmar operations, next question is, which markets will EDOTCO focus on next? I think you just mentioned some of the core markets. Would you like to give us more detailed explanation?
Yeah. So the Myanmar exit is part of the strategic focusing on ASEAN plus Bangladesh. Our ASEAN core is Malaysia, our home market. We are number 1 player out there. We recently, the last 12 to 18 months, we entered into Indonesian Philippine market and Cambodia. Those are the 4 ASEAN markets, plus Bangladesh. We are number 1 player out there. So we will continue to focus on these markets, not just macro towers, but also street furniture and building solution, managed services. Our philosophy is very simple. So long it provides shareholder value, so long it's scalable, so long we can sign a 10-year contract, so long we don't step into our customers' scope area, that's the product we want to take it. Yeah, so that will be our core focus going forward.
Great, that's good to know. The Malaysian market has been on everyone's radar for tower deals. As both Director of Group Strategy and Director of Malaysia Business, how do you see growth in this market post-COVID? And also given the Celcom-Digi merger, and we also have the 5G network, now we're going to probably have 2 network operators be introduced. Could you please tell us what is happening in the market to our audience, international audience, and what opportunities and challenges there may be for EDOTCO?
So the Malaysia, we are number 1. We own and operate 6,500 towers, colo ratio 2.3 of a 27,000 tower market. So we are about 25% market share, biggest share in the market out there. The market structure basically changing. We had 5 4G operators, 2 have merged, Celcom-Digi, so we have 4 4G operators. And the 5G was allocated to one company owned by government called Digital National Berhad, DNB, who have recently sold 70% of the block to the 4G operators. So that's how the structure. The 5G operator DNB in this case have achieved 80% coverage as of December 2023. We are the biggest contributor in terms of co-location, and 1 in 3 of their towers came in our tower portfolio. And overall, we share about 27% market share. So that's a significant milestone as far as DAB is concerned. Because of the merger taking place, there are certain towers get overlapped in ours, getting decommissioned, but they are returning some spectrum back to the regulator. Therefore, they need more towers. So I think the Celcom Digi new tower requirement and the tower to be decommissioned pretty much the same, so that we are better off taking the share of the incremental build-to-suit category. The other driver is that the spectrum taken out of Celcom Digi, 70 MHz out of 220, goes into another operator in the 4G. They would expand as well. And on top of that, the DNB will be the first 5G network, and government is taking decision to create the second 5G network. So if you put all these factors into consideration, and the fact that we are number one in the market, going to be amazing as far as EDOTCO Malaysia is concerned. So we are in a better position to get the network to co-location and build-to-suit. We are in a better position to get the larger share of the remaining deployment of the network one. We are in a better position to get the larger share of the Celcom Digi deployment of the spectrum gap, the tower requirement as a result of spectrum gap. And we are in a position to get a bigger share of the new rollout of the other 4G player who's going to get the spectrum as well. So it's net is a really cool position to be in. The next wave of Malaysia is 4G densification in Indo. EDOTCO also owns 400 iconic buildings, international airports, shopping lots, shopping malls, universities, transport hubs and stuff like that. All these need to be upgraded to 5G services as we go forward. So I think there will be a large amount of indoor small cell requirement, large amount of street furniture requirements going forward, become the beneficiary for us.
We will discuss about the street furniture and the small cell in a bit. Let's talk about your engagement with your customer. How do you engage with your customer?
So we have repositioned from a customer-centric to partner-centric. There's a big difference between the two. Customer-centric is you have a single-time transaction. You buy, sell, take the money. Partner-centric is you are working towards a common goal, solving common issues. Be it energy issue, be it bringing the cost per GP down, be it past the deployment because the spectrum was taken back or you have received it. So I think the approach of a tower company and approach of EDOTCO for sure has shifted from a customer-centric to partner-centric. Because we are a 10-15-year contract party and we will outlive the sunset of 3G, outlive the sunset of 4G, sunrise of 5G and maybe 6G at some point in time. So we have to outlive our investment cycle, our properties throughout this period. And only a partner can be there with them in that journey.
Okay, that's interesting. Now we're talking about the street furniture. Remember in last year's our interview, you mentioned that EDOTCO will be doing more with street furniture, field operations and small cells. So could you tell about the developments you have made in this area? And if you're continuing to grow in this space over the next 12 months?
Yeah, so in our market, two key significant shifts is taking place. 5G densification. The other one is the 4G mid-spectrum bands. The mid-spectrum band is 21, 23, 2600, 5G on 3500. These spectrum band require infill sites, low altitude structures, 18 meter, 24 meter, 30 meter structures at the street level and the municipal council level. So the growth of macro towers is tapering down. Growth of mini structures, we call it street furniture, is growing. Like for example, Malaysia, I mean, when DNB went into 6,900 telecom structures, but 80% of them happen in these 18-meter, 24-meter, and 30-meter street furniture. So it's large quantities we are talking about. So we are quite big in that. Street furniture also have a purpose, other telecom purposes, EV charging, advertisements, bins. So these are the multi-purposeness of these street furnitures, which is quite handy from our perspective. The second element to that is the in-building solutions. Yes, you got to the outdoor 5G. When you go to indoor, you still don't have the coverage on that. So there has to be significant amount of upgrade of 4G in-building solution to be upgraded to 5G. Unfortunately, most of the in-building solution is up to 2.8 megahertz spectrum. That need to upgrade to 3.5 or beyond. So that's the journey we will go through over the next 2 to 3 years point in time.
Cool, that's good to know. I recall that your mark last year on CapEx control or cost saving for the tower industry, and you said $1 saved is $1 earned, and I think you highlight the same kind of quote or mark on today's your keynote as well. So does this continue to be the key issue for telcos in 2024? And what are other challenges does the industry face, and what are your solutions?
Yeah, so I want to bring your attention back to 3 years ago, post-COVID gold rush. There are $12 to $15 billion worth of investment has come into Asia to create platforms. They pay top dollars to create tower companies. And another 2 years from now, all these tower companies will come to the market for monetization purposes. It's very important for you to understand how do you monetize it, and who are the audience we are going to monetize it, and what form or shape and what portfolio we are going to offer as such. Every single tower you build, there's a single tower economics. So you build a tower and you hold the portfolio for probably a 10-year period. There's a monthly lease fee. There's a monthly rental you have to pay for the landlord, corrective maintenance, preventive maintenance. You have the TMT formula. There's a monthly allocation for that. At any given point in time, your lease fee or a collective lease fee of more than one operator should exceed that, right? That's what you call dollar earn. If you can't earn that dollar above your cost line, then you should save the cost. And you multiply that across 35,000 towers, in this case for us, you are creating that value. So for we at EDOTCO, we look at every tower as an investment center. And there are certain towers, our pricing could potentially be lower than the cost line that need to go through the cost restructuring. If it is above, you have to densify and increase it. If there is above and there are certain portfolio below the line, we have to do more above the line to compensate those below the line. So hand in our heart, when we truly believe in that concept, dollar earned above the line and dollar saved below the line go hand in hand.
That's very insightful. Lastly, how did you find today's event?
Very helpful. What I find about your forum, Yedda, is that the decision makers are here. The investment bankers, infra funds, digital-centric opinion makers. It's a one place where who's at who of the digital infrastructure can be met. And that's what I enjoyed about your forum. Fantastically organized. I met so many of my ex-colleagues. And thank you very much for having us here today.
Thank you so much for your valuable insights and your helpful feedback. And thank you so much for your time and being with me today, Gayan.
Thank you very much, Yedda.